Okay, you can see the agenda looks rather lengthy. It is a bit long tonight. There's a lot of details here. And some of these slides are very quick. It's like one slide per item here. So it's not as ominous as it really looks. But we will walk through things as we can. A couple of us will be doing the majority of the announcements. If someone is in the audience who actually really wants to say something, they can. But we want to really keep things moving as much as we can too. So, couple of announcements up front here.
Yes, they can't hear you online.
They can't hear me online, so turn up this. Can you hear me now online?
Susan had not.
Yes, we can.
Can you advance the slide?
Oh, and add something.
Um, yeah, okay. First announcement is, okay, we're looking for volunteer of the year. So we have a place for nominations. If you want to nominate someone, go onto the MQ website and put that person's name in. They must be in by March 1st before we can get everybody in there, and then we can make a decision about that. And then we'll announce it at the April meeting. Coming up in February, on the Thursday Zoom session, there'll be Lila Bowman, and she's going to talk about creative spaces, love where you create, how to organize and design your sewing room, which should be kind of fun and get you started on cleaning up your sewing room for the year. And on Saturday, Wilhelmina Vandervoort will show us some of her prize-winning quilts that she's had for the past several years. She's won several ribbons, not only in MQ, but also outside of MQ. And she will share some of those quilts with us. So, in the March meeting, quilting Minnesota MQP, Minnesota Quilt Project, will have that session where they're going to talk about feed sacks on the first meeting and design opportunities on the second meeting. So that would be a little bit different meeting also in March as we're coming up here. Next slide. And we're always looking for volunteers at the show. There's always opportunities to sign up. Go on the website and go under the volunteers for the show category, and you can see times there when you can volunteer. So you get to be at the show, you get a few freebies, you get to wear an apron so they give you power. Loads of fun to volunteer for. And as you may have seen in the newsletter, our quilter of the year this year has been announced. She made her living as a dental hygienist, one of our favorite people whenever we go. She likes a lot of details in her quilts, and she has belonged to MQ, Minnesota Quilters, MQP, the Chaska Guild, Women of the West, and Make It Modern. And she's taught a number of classes for us as well. And she has a historical thread collection. Quilter of the Year is Sharon Resnick. With her now. It's her tonight. Let's see. Congratulations. Congratulations, Sharon. And then we have a scholarship winner who has been announced also. His Joab Bengert, not sure how to pronounce his name. He started quilting a year ago when he found out he was going to be in Humboldt and he wanted to make something warm and cozy for his new nephew or niece that was coming. And then all of a sudden he got hooked. So now he loves quilting and he wants to learn more about it. So when you see him at the quilt show, be very nice to him and be very friendly with him and encourage him to keep going. Next. And I will now turn it over to Amy. She is going to guide you through the rest of this experience.
My apologies ahead of time. So if everybody isn't fully aware about the absence of our show director, she is home recovering from pneumonia. And we miss her greatly, and we're doing our best to scrap it together and wish her the very best at getting well and healthy soon. So, as we've been doing the last couple of years, we're doing the quilt walk. We'll meet on Tuesday at 5 p.m. at the lobby of the River's Edge and stroll through downtown. And as will be the case for many things right now, dinner to follow to be announced. We will be making more information available as we get more organized and get closer. We're really far out, and so we're doing everything we can, and everything will be all pulled together. But right now, some things are TBA. So preview night as normal, tickets $12. The same old process that we have the night before everything really opens up, and 7 to 9 on Wednesday night. Rachel Clark will be doing a fashion show on Thursday evening. And one of the little twists in this is we are looking for models to model her coats that will be in the fashion show. Again, to be announced. There will be more announcements for how to sign up for this and what would be asked of you if you wanted to participate. Our banquet. You want to talk about the banquet real quick?
We have a lovely venue.
You need yours for, and then I want to make sure Sue Soderstrom, right?
Yes.
Sue. This is Sue.
Am I okay for everybody? Okay, we have a good menu going out. It'll be in the next, it was kind of not in the newsletter, but it'll be on the thing. And I'm also asking that if you want to bring a star block and exchange it with somebody at the quilt show, at the banquet. And because the theme of the banquet is Wish Upon a Star. And so if you could bring your block, that would be awesome. No pressure to do it if you don't want to. Oh, our speaker is Joe Cunningham, and he's also giving a class.
He's given some free class.
Three classes. So, and he'll be speaking, I believe they try to tie out the theme, but I haven't had a chance to talk to him. So.
Thank you. Okay. And then we will start discussing our special exhibits for the show. The Cherrywood Poppy Challenge will be on display. Is anybody here doing? No, we don't have anybody for special exhibits. So I'm not going to do this justice. You'll have to forgive me, but the information is up on the slides. These will be, MJ Kinman is also one of our faculty, so that she is teaching classes. Next slide. Judge Quilt. Is anybody here to talk about Judge Quilts? Okay. Go ahead and go back. There is a handout. Hey, Deborah, is that Judge Quilt handout?
It's in with everybody.
It's in, okay, everybody has a Judge Quilt handout. Okay. So you've got details in there. Our entry fees haven't changed. The categories will be updated, and watch for a flyer. Again, we're doing some piecing together, but we're quilters, so that's all very reasonable. So, and our cash prizes for judged, I'm trying to think, we usually are in, it's all on there. Okay, so we'll pass by that to keep this meeting manageable. Our other exhibits, what's that?
It's all on it.
Yay. Okay, so our other exhibits are non-judged, our youth, our mystery quilt 2024. It's 2024 or 2025. It's this year's, right?
2024.
Last year's. Okay. The Medora Challenge, and then we will have the learning stage with a couple of our faculty have lectures, and we have some other I think we are trying to get a canine assistance dog project. We've got a booth that will represent the canine assistant dogs for I want to say military. But we have a booth that will be pertaining to the canines, and then we're hoping to have a learning stage presentation for that. And then various lectures that will, and promotions for people that are vendors will have, time on the learning stage. And then, as always, our Quilting for Others booth where you can come sit and sew. Ladies, do you have anything you need spoken specifically? Okay. We're detailing some of these. So this is some samples of our youth entries from last year. This is our winners from our MQ Challenge 24. The packets are on sale over here. Pat has packets for $5. If you build your challenge and want to enter it, it'll be an additional $20 for registration to enter your quilt. And prizes are awarded for first, second, and third place. And you've got till April 16th to get her done. What's in the packet? Ta-da. This is it. It's called All Buttoned Up.
Keep it short.
Keep it short. I think it's pretty well there.
So, you have to be on mention.
So again, we're trying to challenge people. It doesn't have to strictly be an art quilt, but we had some really cool stuff last year. This year, we have two lovely pieces of fabric. One is, I think it's tie-dyed, I'm not sure, but it's a really nice batik. And then we have some measuring tapes. So it's 4x8 pieces of each of those. And then half a yard of red rickrack and rainbow sparkle flat ribbon yarn, which tends to wrinkle, but I've ironed it on the wool setting and it flattens out really well. And the theme this year is all buttoned up, and the button comes from you. So any kind of button, not one of those like pin on buttons. It's got to be like a silk, like a campaign button. We don't want any pins, nothing sharp sticking out. But round button, square button, any color, shape, size. And I'm not sure if anybody can see this. So this is Karen. Karen is sick. She's my co-chair. She's done a sample. This is, I believe this is bigger than life size. She was going for it to be an envelope, but she's got all the supplies there. She's got a big rainbow button. So the packets are $5. We only have 100 of them this year, but I have plenty left right now. So $5 plus tax. And I'm over there if you want.
Thanks so much, Pat. Okay. So learning stage, I spoke to this on the overview. You'll have to, it looks like we are looking for a volunteer to lead the learning stage committee. If you're interested in that, pop a question into the office or to Liz and we'll get you, or you can sign up, I think on the website under the Sign Up Genius. Okay, so next slide, Quilting for Others. I think I talked a lot early and now there's slides to follow. So you can tell I practiced for this. Go ahead and go to the next slide. Minnesota Quilt Project. Does anybody need to speak to that while we're good? Okay, I don't think it's a big difference from what the booth we've had in the past. Our Connect table, inviting quilt guilds to represent themselves at the quilt show, an opportunity to get new members, spread information about your quilt guild, and just a chance to be seen. Right. And vendors. We're on a good start getting vendors in. I'm not quite sure how many have registered to this point, but we've had a really good response because we offered a pretty good discount for getting your booth registered before the 1st of January. So we're on a good start and bringing in some really great vendors. We've got some yarn vendors and wool and some repeat vendors, Threads and You. I'm not going to name anybody else because then I'll be faulting somebody by not naming them. So I'm going to stop there, but we do have very good representation already and we've got a ways to go. And then our own merchandise, we have a slow start with a couple of items. So we had something for these review meetings, and there will be more to come. I think that's good. Okay, show registration. Our registration on CVent will open for our VIPs. That very first top opportunity will be start January 21st. Members will be February 4th will be their first registration opportunity. And then registration will open up for the show on February 18th. So Tuesday, 1 week apart, 2 weeks for the public. If you have any questions, shoot them into the office. We are working to get everything pulled together. We're a little, with Liz being so sick, we really had to slide the schedule a little bit to accommodate her being able to be fully a part of this. So our admission prices are the same as last year. Lecture passes are the same as last year. I don't think anything is really changing. Prices for classes will, as always, be according to what it costs to bring the faculty member in to do the teaching. So
Are they gonna have a bus this year?
I do not know about that yet. I am sure there is hope that we will. Okay. We're going to take a break. And when we come back, we will discuss, Merle will come up and discuss the faculty and the classes that we're offering at this year's showing.
Okay. That's great.
15 minutes. Okay. Yep. Sorry, folks. This is really disorganized. I apologize. It will get better here in a minute. Merle's coming up after the break.
Raising expectations.
Oh.
That shows up. This is such a scary. Yes.
Okay, well, we're back. We're getting ready to go again. I heard, or through the chat, there are two people who wanted to speak up during our earlier session and they didn't get a chance, and it's special exhibits and youth. So are both either of you there now, and would you like to say something?
All right, this is Paulette Marini, and I'm a co-chair for the youth exhibit along with Linda Steeney. And the last couple of years, we've had a great success with the amount of quilts that we have to show in the exhibit, and the youth have done a marvelous job. This year, we wanted to announce ahead of time that yes, we are going to have a sewing machine for a door prize for just the youth exhibit, and it is a basic Janome that weighs 11 pounds. So all of you moms and grandmothers and aunts who want to get their family members into sewing, this would be a good reason to get them to enter a quilt for the exhibit so that their name can go into the drawing. That's it.
Great. Thank you. And then, special events. Want to say something too?
Sure.
Laura?
This is
Great.
Laura Nagel, and I'm working on special exhibits with Brenda Lysing, and we have a few special exhibits lined up for you, and a few more are in the works. But we wanted to tell you that we will have the Poppywood Cherrywood Challenge, and if I was there, I could show you some of these in person. But Brenda will have them on Saturday. Let me see if I can get one more.
The one that Laura is showing right now was made by one of our faculty, Elaine Poplin.
Oh,
Wick.
Poplin. Okay. All right. Then we have some guild challenges. The Minneapolis Modern Quilt Guild, the Minnesota Contemporary Quilters. We're in the process of talking with Chaska Area Quilt Guild for their denim exhibit, and the local SAQA, Studio Artists Quilting Association, is going to have an exhibit as well. And when you hear about the faculty, we will have a group of faculty quilts, one from each of our faculty presenters, and then there will be an exhibit with a featured faculty member. At the Houston show, the Ellen Carter and her sister debuted their miniature red, white, and blue quilt exhibit. And if you remember a few years back, they had one that was all blue and white miniature quilts. And then before that, it was red miniature quilts. And now this time their grand finale is going to be red, white, and blue. Scrapbaggers Quilt Group is going to have a happy birthday to me. And that's because in our group, we've been active for over 30 years. And every time someone has a decade birthday, we surprise them with a set of blocks so that they can make those into a quilt for themselves. And most of us have had at least 2 decade birthdays in that time. And so we're going to be sharing some of those birthday quilts with you. Our retrospective exhibit this year will feature Pat Cox. And then we have 2 exhibits that we would like you to help us present. One is called Finally Finished. That means that you have had a quilt malingering for over 10 years and it is finally finished in time for the 2025 show. I will have one of those quilts. I just finished my daughter's wedding quilt after 20 years of it sitting in a tote. And I'll more to talk about that later. And the other one is my grandmother's quilts. So many of us tell the story that that's who taught us to sew or to quilt or to work with our hands on craft projects. And so if you have something that was your grandmother's quilt, we would love to see it. And of course, in your gallery card, please tell us the story of how it came to be and why you have it. So those are 2 that we would like our membership to participate in. Finally Finished and my grandmother's quilts. And be watching the newsletter. There'll be more details about that. But you can let us know, let me or Brenda know on the special exhibits at mnquilt.org. And so just so we have a sense of, are we getting some participation here or not? Brenda?
I think the only other thing I would add is that I don't think you mentioned this, but we got a couple of new guilds that are participating this year. Northern Lights Quilters Guild is going to have an exhibit all about Northern Lights quilts. The Pine Tree Quilters from Brainerd area, Wood City Quilters, and the Contemporary Quilters. So
I did do Minnesota Contemporary. Okay. I didn't have the other guilds. Thank you. Any questions? All right. Thank you. Sorry we're not there.
Okay. All right. Now. Yeah. Okay, now it's time to grab your pencils or highlighters, whatever you want. Grab your printout. It's available for you to print from the chat, I believe. So that you can start circling and starring and crossing out if you have to, but you know, you can't take all of them. So as I went through the presentation, I shortened it by a considerable amount of time I'm going to tell you right at the beginning, I'm so excited about this. There are so many classes that I'm going to take. That's not a good thing. I'm Merle Pratt. I'm part of the faculty team. It's just fun to pick out classes and get to know faculty. And I am a scrap quilter, a charity quilter. And I have an extensive collection of unfinished projects because I love to take classes. So with that, I have one announcement that I forgot. Quilting for Others is my other hat. And we're here every Wednesday from 10 to 1. So you can pick up and drop off. We have quilt kits, we have binding to be done, we have a lot of quilting to be done, whether it's domestic or long arm. And on January 22nd, so write this on your sheet, January 22nd, our extensive stash is going to be pulled out of the storage area and you can come and shop for free to put together any charity quilts that you'd like to do. So we'd like to share our bounty with you because we can't cut kits fast enough. It's a great problem to have. So January 22nd to Wednesday from 10 to 2. We'll be here. So come and get some fabric for some quilts in case you run out. So let's get started. And it's just works really well going right from Paulette's talking about the youth quilts. First up is our own Rose Allen, who will be teaching her beginning classes again. And these are, I'm gonna let you guys worry about catching up with me. I can't keep track. She has 4 1-hour classes, and you can take all 4 or just the one you might be interested in. This is especially good if you have a youth that has entered. You might want to encourage them to join in, or that friend who has asked you 100 times if you would teach them to quilt. This would be a good chance to bring them and let Rose teach them how to. So she's an excellent teacher. Okay. Kathy Belts is one of our judges. And she has an extensive list of awards. Okay. She has quilts curated to Paducah, Houston, and a whole bunch of other places. So please read. I have to say the bios and the class descriptions will all be in when you go in to register. So that will be even more extensive information than I'm giving you here tonight. She has 4 one-day classes. I'm really putting her to work. She has spinning wheels and spinning pinwheels, revamped denim, abstraction, and raindrops. And so spinning wheels is a 13 fat quarters and a background fabric. You'll use the Tucker trimmer and the Quilter's Magic wand, and it's the way she does it. You make 2 blocks at a time, and we're on abstraction. Which one are we on? Abstraction. We want to be on the spinning. Back of this back. There you go. So you're going to be making 2 blocks at a time. That's her method. Really fun. Okay, revamped denim. This is one of our clothing items this time. You bring a jacket, and she has all of the information on the supply list that you bring. When we get to it, we placed it so that if you wanted to do the Seminole piecing, it is the right size block to then go on the jacket. But you'd have to take a gamble that you'll finish the Seminole on Wednesday so that you can do the jacket on Thursday. So, that's a really fun one. Then we go to instructions. This one fascinated me. I just love this one. This is actually a strip piecing. I can't see it. I keep staring at it and I'm not getting it. So, and this is we'll need a 4-patch square up tool, which is required for the class. So I'm not sure about, I've never seen that one, but this will make a 64-inch by 64-inch quilt. And she said it's good for beginners all the way through. I'm going to try to clear my schedule for that one. And then on Saturday is rainbow drops. This is it's charm packs. This is a 5-inch squares. And then she will help us see how to 2 different layouts. So that looks like a quick and easy and fun. Hey, Rachel Clark. This is very exciting. They're all very exciting. She is doing our fashion show. And so she's doing the Seminole techniques, which is the one I talked about that would be cool to go on the jacket. And it's not Seminole piecing, it's done in strips. So it goes together faster, easier. And she said beginner, intermediate, advanced, can all do it. She is doing the fashion show Thursday night, which is going to be so fun. And she is looking for models. The coats are ones that she has made for herself. So you be the judge if you want to try to model that. I know we do have one model, but we'd like some more. So there'll be information on how to sign up to be a model for that. But that's going to be a really fun evening. We purposely didn't schedule any other lectures or classes for the Thursday evening because it's going to be an event that most people want to come to. So, and then after you've seen the fashion show and these fantastic coats, you're going to want to take her two-day Friday and Saturday class on making your own coat. So she will, on the supply list, will tell you how to get a pattern that fits you, and then all of the information on what you need, and she will help you redesign and do all kinds of suggestions for embellishments and tricks of the trade to make a quilted coat.
Hey, Merle, can you hear me? This is Brenda. I just wanted to
Good.
say that I took the Seminole piecing class from Rachel online at the beginning of COVID, and it was wonderful. I will have samples there on Saturday of what I made in class, so we can show them. I don't know if Laura has them nearby her to show everybody, but it was a lot of fun, and it's a skill that I think will help me in other quilts that I make. So
I do have the samples and I can show them at the end of the PowerPoint.
perfect.
Yeah, I'm and then the fashion show is going to be on ethnic influenced garments. And this, I saw one that someone did, and I had to try it on and try to walk away with it. She had made it out of an old quilt. It's so weird. Anyway, the next up is Joe Cunningham.
Might take just a minute because we're jumping to the next.
Are you bringing up Laura's?
No, we're going to the part 2 of the slideshow.
Okay. Are there questions when we're finding that? How many of you have things circled already? How many of you have things crossed out already? Very good. See, I circle the ones I'm interested in and I put a star the ones that I absolutely have to take. And then I have to cross out some because they're at the same time. The scariest part of this whole thing is the technology. I look up to these people. It's too bad we don't have some coat samples in here tonight. It always- Have any of you taken classes from any of these people that we've talked about so far?
Class from Joe Cunningham.
Yeah?
We haven't talked about it yet.
No, but that's good.
It was online. And it was just a small wall piece that I made, but it actually sold as the first and only piece I've ever actually sold. So that was fun. I might bring a picture of it on Saturday.
Good. That'd be great. That'd be great. Anyone else?
I just had a question on the comb making. I assume that 2 classes will really be on structuring the garment versus making something.
Oh, it's the construction of of the garment. Yeah. You will, yeah, on the, I don't have the supply list in front of me, but she has descriptions of the pattern you need to find and whatever materials you need to find. It's all on the supply list, which will be available January 21st. So, okay, Joe Cunningham. I think this is going to be so fun. He brings his guitar. So while you're so anyway, he's playing. But he said he'd bring it for the banquet too. So I think it's fun. He is a professional quilt maker, author, lecturer, teacher since 1979. His quilts are in major museums and private collections. He's written books, been on TV and internet. And he has a gallery and studio in San Francisco. So we are excited to have him come and join us. The first class he's teaching is called Nature's Kingdom. And it's an improv technique, but it is the first one, Nature's, incorporates birds. And your quilt won't look like this. Your quilt will look like your quilt. All of his work is improv work. And so they'll teach you the techniques and then you can take off from there. So the next one is called Rock the Block. And it's a landscape that I looked at his supply list too, and I'm thinking, I'm a scrap quilter. Improv's not my thing, but it's just wonderful what he's going to teach these techniques and be able to do this. And he says, you'll find this a way to leave your lane and think more freely. So, and you're nodding your head, that's really fun. It's really fun. Okay, and then as a banquet, he'll be doing My Life in Quilts.
There's one more class.
Yeah.
There's one more class.
Yes. And the Friday one is called Creative Design. And it's done with bias tape. And he will provide the bias tape and you bring the fabric. It takes
I didn't write it down. But and he will teach that creative thing. Again, you aren't coming back with this quilt, you'll be coming back with your quilt and technique to work with it. So, when can we? Yeah, this is in Banquet. Oh, that's right. I knew that. Um, yeah. This is quotes for our time. So his banquet talk is going to be his journey, and then this is going to be what he is currently doing. So almost a continuation. So, now we'll go to Gwen. Okay, Gwen says she's an adventurous quilter for the past 4 decades with a passion for English paper piecing. And this is one that I do. I'm going to enjoy her. She's a high school teacher and she's trained in yoga. And so she's going to be doing a lecture and a class. The class is fussy cutting magic and do wonderful things with the English paper piecing, and it's so meticulous and seeing lines, so it's very different than what Joe Cunningham's doing. And then okay, just get your pencils out and circle this one, because she's also doing a lecture called Stretches for Stitchers. And it'll be about time to give our bodies a little break from walking and sewing and sitting. And so this is all, I looked at it because I went, no, not for me. Okay, this is from your chair with only a little bit of standing. And it's, she calls it gently modified yoga poses. So this will be a good one. Nice lunch break there. 12:01 on Thursday. Okay. Now, Pat Harrison. She is also one of our judges. She's a very well-known judge. And she's been to MQ before for ours. You might know her husband. He's is Bob's Featherweights. And so we tried to get him too, but we did not succeed at that. But she does a lot of improvisational quilting. And she also has a very positive approach to judging, where it's a support to those who have their quilts judged and encouragement and helping them to guide to create. So she's not a quilt police. She's a quilt judge, and she will help you see what things you might, which is good because she's doing a lecture called You Be the Judge, and you can find out the process. I think I skipped. We'll get to her lecture in a minute. Okay, so she's doing 2 binding classes. These are not beginning binding classes. The first one is piping and wrapped beads and special embroidery stitches, things to really bring your binding to another level. But it's all straight. And then the next one is doing curves and scallops, and she will teach how to measure your quilt and get the scallops to come out right without math. I want to see that. So those are 2 different, 2 very different things to kind of zing up your quilts. And so those are fun. A little bit more of a beginner in there. So, and then she's doing one called Circle Those Scraps. And these are
it's almost it's foundation piece, and then you cut the circles. And then it's pieced, not applicated. So that would theoretically use up a lot of scraps. So, so that is on Thursday. She'll be doing a lot about color values. And, so let me look at you. And then her lecture, you will the judge, where she's describing the judging process, as well as a lot of hints on what the judges are looking for and what you might want to look for. She also has invited you to bring a quilt with you to that lecture, and probably won't get to all of them, but and help you see something that you might want to improve on or correct, or and she does it in a really kind way. It's not a judgmental, it's not gonna, it's not gonna slap your hands. She's just gonna help you see what the judges would have seen in that quilt. So okay, MJ Kindred. And she, well, this one just leaped out of my heart when I saw the first thing. She does quilts based on gems. And they are so beautiful. The first one that we chose, it was hard. Let me tell you, it was very hard. The first one that we chose is called Dames and Diamonds. And you can choose which of the ones you want to do. And she teaches the technique. The first diamond that these are based off of real gems. The first one is the Clark Pink. The other one is the Bismarck Sapphire. And then the third one is the Duke Diamond. And so what she will do is once she teaches you the technique and gets you started, while you're sewing, she will tell you the story of these gems and the people that own them and the stories behind them. So that's just a really, really fun class. And it's all beginners, you're fine. Everybody can take it. So, and then Friday morning, she will be teaching color clay. And this is beyond color theory. In other words, once you've learned the rules, then you can break them. And these are the rules on how to break them. So she will be teaching that class on Friday morning. And then on Friday afternoon, it's improv gems. And so it's teaching a similar technique, but completely improv. And yet you get these beautiful gems, just really fun. And then, but Thursday night, she's doing a lecture. The lecture is on the national treasures, the gems in the Smithsonian Institute, and the stories behind the gems, and the quilts that she's put together to go with these. And she talks a lot about how to create the shine and the sparkle using fabric to make it look like metal or gems. So fun and fun. Okay. Next, we have Kelly McKenzie. This is my personal project, so I'm really excited about this one. We have Janome bringing long arms to the show this year. They are going to be bringing 8 long arms. They'll have 2 heads on each long arm, except for the last 2 classes, and then there'll only be 1. So she is a Janome educator, paid by Janome to come and present for us, and she presents all over. So this is something that she loves to do, is to come and teach. And the first class is called Long Arm Quilting from A to Z. And this is, I've never touched one, but I'm really fascinated. I want to try it. Maybe I'll even, because most places where you rent time on a long arm, you have to take a class.
to before they'll let you on the lawn. So this is a prepare for that. And so this is for anyone that wants to come and see how it works and see what it does. And so she's offering that Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday mornings. Okay, so there's 3 classes. They can only take 16 people each. And the only thing you have to bring is a pair of snippets, just a little, so you can cut threads. So that's. And then on Wednesday and Thursday afternoon, she has one that she's calling Long Arm Stitch Like a Pro. And this is using the computerized system to do your edge to edge or blocks, everything that's in the computer, and how to set that up, how to run it, and how to crop. If you have something that you don't want to just edge to edge over, you can crop it and go and the machine will go around it. So she's using a Pro Stitcher on the Janome. Pro Stitcher is the computer system that's used on HQ and Baby Lock and one other. Janome. But so it's a computer system that even though it's Janome, the machines that you'll be on, Pro Stitcher is a computer system that is on a lot of others. So that is amazing to use. And then I'd never heard of this. The Friday afternoon and Saturday morning, she is teaching Quilt as you go on the long arm. Which makes sense. It's just a sewing machine. So she does have fabric that she needs for your supply list, and that'll be available to you. But they're going to be taking one head off of each machine. So there can only be 8 people in each of those classes. So you might want to have your finger on the button to get into those classes. So that's exciting. Then we move on to Beth Ann Nemish. Have you heard of her? Nemishing? She has her own style of, she's going to be teaching quilting on the domestic. And so we're covering, she's also a long arm quilter, so there'll be some hints in there for those too. And so she's going to be teaching, and she's taught this for years and years. Wednesday, A to Zen, it's the fillers that you use in different places. Lots of more organic type fillers that really enhance a quilt, and you have plenty of quilts to practice on from quilting for others. A little fun. And then she is teaching nemashing on Thursday. Beautiful work. It's when you see this kind of work, you know that there's a lot of care given to this quilt. But it looks a lot harder than it really is. So there's a lot of practicing. It's a 4-hour, not a 6-hour. That's what we either have 6 hour, 3 hour, but this is a 4-hour class. And you come out knowing how to do that. And then she's going to formal feathers. And one of the things is that you will come out with your own feather design. So she'll be teaching what it takes to make up the feathers and how to get the machine from here to there. But then helping you to create some of your own signature feathers. And then the next one, she's doing freehand florals. So essentially a similar thing. I think florals are easier than feathers myself. But but it's a similar thing, but it's with the more organic
backgrounds. Whatever. And then she is doing, yarn catching. Way beyond my big. And I mean, she's done it on. This is a lecture in the afternoon, and using again the free motion that she's talked about in the other classes. So, and then Heidi Parks, born in Chicago. Her grandmother organized a family quilting group to do a quilt for her when she was born. So the quilting that was in her blood for generations. She is going to be teaching a lot of improv, patchwork, applique, improvisation. She does art quilts, but she's also her thing is the hand quilting. So the first class she's offering is the scrap quilting. And she says that it's using what's called a vignettes method. Have you heard of that? I had never heard of that. But she said you should be able to finish a 3 foot by 3 foot wall hanging in that. So should be. The next one is visible hand piecing. She uses a thick visible thread, straight line, and she'll teach the running stitch, the whip stitch, the ladder stitch, and a Korean patchwork technique. So that's on Thursday morning. And then she'll be teaching a framed quilt. And this is a good class for not just the piece you might be working on, but also how to stretch and frame an embroidered piece or, photograph piece or anything that you might want to put on a frame to put on the wall. So this is a frame quilting process. Where she teaches you how to fold with corners, right, and all that. So, and then the next one is improv hand quilting. It's a Saturday all-day class. She said it's conceptual and technical. So it should be. She said she teaches hand position, how to create tension by when you're laying out a quilt on your tabletop. She teaches how to use a thimble, and said how to mark the fabric, and she does not use pens. It's an improv quilting process, and she said it's just like drawing on the fabric, but you use the heavy thread. And then the next one, this you want to circle, okay, is her lecture on hand yoga and body care. And so this is when your hands are hurting after you finish your class. This is how, and I know that a lot of us struggle with arthritis in our hands. And so I'm looking forward to finding out, how to manipulate my hands, how to care for them, because, my days will be numbered if I don't. I could do without just about anything except my hands. So she's going to be, and you can go right from the chair yoga to the hand because they're back to back. So you'll be all loosened up, ready to start. And then we have Patricia Simmons, and hers is all on lecture, and it's on templates and rulers. She's also a vendor. That makes it nice. You learn how to use her templates and rulers, and then then you won't have those templates that you bought and you don't remember why. But so she will be doing that on Friday.
And our next one is Helen Smith Stone, which we all remember from last year. She was our Culture of the Year and a wonderful teacher, teaching beginning quilting. This year, her beginners class is on log cabins. Never thought I'd hear myself say log cabins and beginner in the same sentence. But that is what she's doing. She's teaching basic quilt piecing techniques, and making log cabins. And then she'll be doing a lecture on personal embellishments. And she's a master. Beautiful work. And I hope she helps share with us how she finds all of this beautiful stuff to use in embellishing. So that's how it's going. Lisa Thorpe is coming to us from Arkansas. She does her work. Her visual work is like an idea and concept that for a story driven. And so she uses a lot of printing on fabric, dyeing, and making her own fabric. So the first class she's teaching is backyard bird fabric collage. These are images that she printed on her home printer. So she will be bringing bird prints, and you'll be bringing your fabric. And then she'll teach you how to work with them and talk about composition and design. Photo fascination. And these are teaching you about the different digital photo apps. Tricks for printing on your home printer. There's got to be some tricks. He'll teach about composition and layout, and she'll be doing some thread drying on the front. And then coloring with Inktense pencils. Did anybody work with those before? Have you? They work?
Right, I can get it like that.
Oh, I think I'm very into coloring like mandalas and stuff like that and this looks like it would be, I think. So she is teaching coloring that, and they are doing mandalas. So for that, this makes it free. So there'll be more information on that on the supply list on what you need to bring. So you'll want to definitely check on that. And then she'll be doing a trunk show on surface design. And she will be using printed fabrics, her fabrics she's done. And she has 3 short videos, one on monotype printing, marbling fabric, and stamp carving. And our last one is Elaine Wick-Pufflet. She's a retired high school math teacher, but she promises there won't be any tests or questions. She designed, during pandemic, she designed an 8-foot, 3-dimensional light-up Christmas tree for her family. And you can see it in McCall's quilting magazine from December 2022. I think fun. Analog. You can see a lot of her work on messygoat.com is her website. I hope she has a picture of the Christmas tree. The first class is Fibonacci squared. If you don't know what Fibonacci is, it's a repeating pattern in nature. And so she will be, she says, based on a log cabin. Can you see it? I can only see it because I can find the little squares. But she said, you probably will be able to finish a 55-inch square quilt top in that time. Probably. She says you will, I think. The next one is Awakening. And then there again, I'm just fascinated with this like gem kind of look. This is, there are curves in that. So this is improvisational curved piecing. The next one is partial lockdown. And there we go. Oh, missed it. Again, she'll do instructions and demonstration. This does include partial scenes. So if that's a concern for you, she'll be teaching how to make that work. She said it is for intermediate quilters or confident beginners. But just I can just see that in so many different colorways. It'd just be fun to see what classes do at the end of the day. So, and the last one we're talking about, Outspoken with Elaine Poplin, and this is improv lettering. So many times we have an urge to put lettering on our quilts, and so she said she has over 100 letter forms, and she will be giving the handout to on that. It is exclusive to the class on different lettering styles. She said, depending on the size and complexity of your statement, you should be able to get a few words constructed during the class. Short words. So that is our faculty. I don't think there's a single one I'm not excited about. So I'm hoping to see lots of circles on your pages. Let's see if I buzzed through that so fast. Let's go to Liz and say, what did I miss?
Someone asked about, they answered on
Oh, that's a good question. And if they can answer it.
We should talk about the room without bringing the asked questions.
What happened to the teacher from Pride and Joy Quilting?
Yeah.
She canceled.
There was some scheduling conflicts for her.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Well, I think we have her on the list for next year. Hopefully.
Does anybody else have any questions in here? On
I
Zoom?
feel like I just kind of took a bucket of water and dumped it, and
You did a great job, Earl. Thank you so much.
oh, you can add, Liz, really.
I think you covered everything.
Liz is in Arkansas.
Alabama.
I get it wrong. Anyway, we're all jealous right now.
Okay, so next.
So now we have door prizes.
Did you want to see some class samples?
Yes, that would be great if we could.
Okay. So I have, let's see, I think I'm up, or maybe can be seen. I took one of Elaine Poplin, our last faculty mentioned, and I took it online, and she was a fabulous teacher online, so I can only imagine how good she'll be in person. So let me show you. Here's letter A. Now there can be more surrounds, but I was just trying to get a letter done. A and E.
The Zoomers get to see it, but we're not seeing it here.
Oh, you're not? Okay. Well, you saw when I presented Cherrywood. How did that work?
No,
No, we didn't.
It says it's on this.
Oh,
No,
no, so the room didn't see it. Okay, but they can see it when are you recording this still?
Yeah, so it'll be
Yeah.
on the Zoom recording. Yeah.
Okay. And here's an F, and this is the easiest letter.
Okay.
But really, I mean, it's not hard, but when she talks about you really need contrast,
Mhm.
I had my idea of contrast and hers were very different. So that was my learning curve.
Okay.
And then Liz, not Liz, Brenda, let's see, let me get a couple here. If I can get them. Had some of the Rachel Clark, the piecing that she does. So this is a more simple version. And then it can get a little more complex.
Oh,
But
cool.
it's not hard. It's really fun when this starts to come together. It's like anything else, you know, it starts out and you wonder, well, why am I doing this, or how is this going to turn out? And then all of a
So-
sudden you put it all together and it really is artistic. And again, you can see that she works with high contrast fabrics. If you want to see the design in anything, you need to have high contrast in your fabric selection.
So Laura, is that the Seminole piecing?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
with Rachel Clark. Mhm. All right, that's what I have.
It's time for door prizes. It's time for door prizes.
Okay.
Linda can handle the ones online.
Okay,
I'll handle the ones in there.
okay.
Can I
sounds
just say
great.
about the ones online that there will be Heidi Parks donated a couple of her lectures for prizes, door prizes. So that's what we'll be giving out to the Zoomers online.
The door prizes that are here are all donations from faculty members. Okay.
Well, okay, for the Zoomers. The first one is Diane Rose.
Well, return.
Congratulations, Diane.
I'm here.
Okay. And the second one is Colleen Carlson.
Are you on, Colleen?
I am on.
Great.
Okay, and the third one is Mary Wellman.
Yay, Mary.
Yay, Mary. Thank you.
Great.
Okay, so who wants the links for what is the teacher donating?
She donated a lecture and I will email them the PDF that contains the information about it. As
Okay.
long as your email is online, that's what we'll.
Yeah. And then that's two of them?
That
Right?
was 3.
3.
I know, but you have 2 lectures or 3 lectures?
We have more for Saturday.
Oh, okay. Well, we won't get quilt shops then. Right?
Right. I
Okay.
wasn't planning to.
All
but-
right, I'm done. That's it for the Zoomers.
So did we